Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to an ESPN NFL 2K5 franchise rebuild with the Detroit Lions. We got 2 games coming your way this week, and after these 2 games, we'll officially be halfway through the season, first against the Washington football game, and second against the new-look Miami Dolphins. As you can see here, our new star running back, Deshaun Foster, out for about 3 more weeks with that pulled bicep, and we are out without the services of Teddy Lehman with that concussion. Looking at last week, major victories: Minnesota remaining 5-1, taking down the New York Jets. Indianapolis really roughs up Arizona there, as you can see there down there at the bottom, and Carolina takes another loss after trading for Kevin Jones. Kansas City remaining undefeated, keeping up their bid for a second Super Bowl in a row. And as you can see here, Washington, the team we're playing next, did beat Chicago last week, so they're looking for another victory against an NFC North opponent. And they're going to be looking for it behind the strong running of Clinton Portis, sitting at a 90 overall. You can see he had that monster year last year, and maybe not as good as the year before that, but he's having a good year again this year. And of course, Lavernius Coles leads a talented wide receiver core for the Washington football team, although their quarterback position is not as talented. That will be led by Patrick Ramsey at about a 70 overall. But on the other side of the ball, LeVar Arrington, we remember him from our last game, and we remember Washington from our last game in Season 1. The last time we played them, if you remember, that is famously the worst that I've ever lost in a game of NFL 2K5 on my PlayStation 2. They beat us by a score of 62-0. So it's a low bar as we head into Game 1 of 2 against the Washington football field. Welcome to Ford Field here in Detroit, Michigan, where the Lions are ready to take on Washington here on this beautiful day. We're about 7 or 8 weeks into the season. The Lions came roaring back from a slow start, now currently sitting at 3-3, as are the Washington football team, also at 3-3. So one of these teams will have a winning record once this week is all said and done, and the Lions will start off with the football. Joey Harrington looking over the middle, connecting with Derek Hamilton on our first regular set play. This time Derek Hamilton getting that cross route for 18 yards over the middle. His first pass, Harrington's first pass at the Detroit 38, falls harmlessly incomplete. Davenport runs into a lot of traffic, is going to lose 2 yards on the tackle from Pope. 3rd and 12, Harrington dropping back, slinging it over to his right side. There were a lot of Washington football players around Azahir Hakeem. That pass falls incomplete, and the Washington football team takes over. Ramsey rolls left, wastes no time, finds Lavernius Coles, who slips Dre Blyde. Dre can't make the tackle to make up for it. And just like that, we are 90 seconds into this game, and Washington and Lavernius Coles are already in the end zone, and the Lions trail by a score of 7-0. That's a 61-yard touchdown pass from Ramsey to his elite receiver here. You can see, very frustratingly, Hall gets apparently very fooled by the play-action pass, just completely runs away from a very clear sack on Ramsey. He connects with Lavernius Coles down the field, and Blyde cannot make up for his coverage blunder. One play, 61 yards, and the Lions pick back up and try again from their own 20 and immediately go backwards by 1 yard. Davenport getting no luck over on the running game. LeVar Arrington making sure of that. After a dangerous pass gets deflected over to the left side, Arrington looks deep over the middle for his tight end, Steven Alexander, who takes that one in. It's a 16-yard gain and a first down. Harrington rolling out to his right, not seeing anybody open, decides to scramble it for himself, loses the ball on the hit, and the lineman, Dan Fiore, coming all the way over from the left guard position, falling on the ball, getting a few extra yards, and getting into first down territory, move the chains up to the 46. As you can see, Harrington not having as strong of a year as he did last year, definitely throwing more interceptions than he did last year. Hands that one up to Davenport, who finally gets some positive yardage, 4 yards up the middle. Harrington finds Rodgers on that completion to the left flat, only gets 3 yards out of that one, tackled by Battle over on the left side. 3rd and 3, trying to keep that drive alive. He had a man open on the flat, but instead throws it over the head of Azahir Hakeem, who can't outreach to that pass, and that's going to be not a turnover on downs, but they punt it away, and the Washington football team takes over from their own 9. After the incomplete pass from Ramsey to Gardner, Portis gets up the middle for 3 yards, and Norris is in there on the stop. Ramsey going to throw over the middle, find Gardner on the completion. That's 13 yards and a first down. Ramsey looking to pass again, throws that one over the middle, but he's going to get an incomplete pass and a defensive pass interference called on, unfortunately, myself. I was user controlling Zach Thomas on that one. I didn't love the call, but the call is the call regardless, and the Washington football team takes over from their own 35, and Clinton Portis gets loose. I didn't say this before the video, but every single one of the players on the offensive line for Washington is rated at least in the 80s, one of which is in the 90s. I guess I didn't highlight him. So that 22-yard by Clinton Portis is one because of the very heavy protection that you see from that offensive line. And it's on display again where Clinton Portis rips off a 13-yard run over to the left side, stepping out of bounds before he could get a little bit more. It seemed like he had the space to do so. The Washington team is suddenly up at the Detroit 30. Portis goes up the middle for 2 yards. Boss Bailey getting a stop quickly over the line for once. 2nd and 8. Ramsey throws over to Portis on that right side, getting 8 yards on the tackle from Fernando Bryant, just short of the line. And Kevin Falk, the backup, works through the tackle from Zach Thomas, getting 4 yards up the middle and a first down. Falk still in the game, getting 2 yards up the middle, another tackle from Zach Thomas. And that brings us into the end of the first quarter. So through one, we've managed to hold on to just giving them one score. Washington up 7-0 as we head into the second quarter. Ramsey throws a dangerous pass over to the right side, that one falling incomplete to Rod Gardner, and this time Clinton Portis gets the shovel pass up the middle. Nobody, like literally nobody touching him. Strong blocking from the Washington line, and nobody is able to touch Clinton on the reception touchdown. That one's going to be considered a reception touchdown. So Ramsey has 2 passing touchdowns on the day. We're barely into the second quarter, and you can see that one more time. A couple of very key blocks, and Portis is in the end zone. The Lions now trail by a score of 14-0. Harrington rolling over to his left side finds Charles Rogers over on that out route. That's a gain of 19 yards. You can see Charles having a pretty strong season so far, 24 catches for 469 yards, and we're only 7 games into the season. Looking over the middle for Charles again, Harrington's pass falls incomplete from the Detroit 39. Corey Schlesinger going to get the run this time, gets a few yards up the middle, about 4 to be exact, bringing up a 3rd and 6. Harrington dropping back to look into that pass on that quick slant over the middle, just plunking off of the hands of Roy Williams, falling incomplete, and the Lions will punt the ball away to Washington again, giving them the ball at their own 33. I have Harrington written down right there. Ramsey throwing a deep one very dangerously incomplete over the middle. 2nd and 10, another incomplete pass bouncing off of his tight end's hand. I think he was holding out for the tackle before he even got hit. Ramsey throwing over to that left side. He's going to find Lavernius Coles yet again, streaking down the left side. A huge reception for Lavernius, and you can see here Patrick Ramsey. We were like, oh, Patrick Ramsey, this is going to be an easy time for us. He is scorching us in the first half. 130 yards, 2 touchdowns, but the very next play, our rookie Sam Hamilton in the strong safety position makes a miraculous one-handed interception grab. We have to take another look at this. Samuel Hamilton stalking back there in the zone defense, covering back on the throw, makes an absolutely athletic grab, getting out of bounds and giving the Lions some hope at their own 40-yard line, and then Harrington gets sacked by Douglas for a loss of 6. Just when you think we have a little bit of momentum, we are not able to take much advantage of it. Harrington going to complete that one to Najee Davenport. In for the injured Deshaun Foster, not able to make up any of the production that Deshaun Foster has made so far, and on a pass that I thought we were going to get intercepted, as I hear Hakeem manages to make the reception, turn and burn. That's a 24-yard gain, and salvaging that first down. Rodgers only getting 3 yards on that completion from Harrington. We're now in Washington territory. Harrington incomplete on that left side, a dangerous pass to Corey Schlesinger over on the left flat. From shotgun, Harrington rolling left, throwing right, getting his pass picked off by John Jones. It was man coverage, and he was actually covering the man coming across the middle from the right side, but Harrington basically just threw it right into the clutches of John Jones, looking for his receiver. I believe that was Brett Richards going on the out route. Maybe should have thrown that one with a little bit more touch, but instead he throws the dart directly back into the hands of the Washington football team, and now it is the Clinton Portis show. After a few strong blocks, he sheds the tackle of Terrence Holt, takes the hit from Sam Hamilton. That's going to be a 25-yard getting knocked out of bounds. You can see here Clinton having 6 rushes for 61 yards so far, and he's going to get a few yards once again on the counter play. Really, really strong blocking from the front line of the Washington football team. Boss Bailey couldn't catch him, and if Boss Bailey isn't catching you, you know that you got no one else in front of you into the end zone. That is a 37-yard touchdown run from Clinton Portis, and there is that just incredible blocking that we are talking about. Every single one of the Detroit Lions got pushed over to the right, and Clinton Portis was running the ball to the left. So the Lions are feeling a little bit of deja vu, now sitting 21-0 down big time against this Washington football team, and so far this Washington team is absolutely our kryptonite. We've been having a terrible time against them, and also who is having a terrible time today? None other than Joey Harrington, who throws 2 straight incompletions after that terrible 1-yard run from Corey Schlesinger up the middle, and the Lions offense seems to have completely stalled out here as Washington takes back over. Ramsey not stalled out, finding Gardner over the middle for 7 yards. Our rookie linebacker Harry Freeman makes the tackle, but he suffers a catastrophic knee injury. We'll check back on what exactly befell him at the end of the game. Portis getting up the middle for a couple yards, but we get hit with the face mask call, I believe. Yep, that one is going to be called on Chris Hovan, number 99, giving them a first down and then some up to the Detroit 35. Portis gets up the middle for another 2 yards. Bryant and the new rookie Pearson in for the injured Freeman combined to make the tackle. Zach Thomas makes a nice tackle. Portis only getting 1 yard over to the left side. Ramsey rolling left, throwing right to his rookie receiver. Schultz getting 17 yards over the middle, now up into the red zone. They're up at the Detroit 15. Portis going to the left side, only getting 1 yard on that hit from Hall. Ramsey throwing backwards after he was clearly over that line of scrimmage, going to get hit with that illegal forward pass call. That's going to move the ball back to a 3rd and 13, and going to give a 3rd down and long situation for the Washington football team. And they're going to try again from just a little bit farther away from the goal. Ramsey throwing over to his right side, does manage to complete that one to Schultz for 11 yards. Farmer makes the tackle, however, and it's only going to lead to a 23-yard field goal from John Hall. That's going to make it 24-0, and we've made a change, ladies and gentlemen, and that change, I didn't even have enough time to tell you about the change before we get another interception thrown, this time not by Joey Harrington, but we gave up on Joey Harrington, and at that point we had put the rookie Alvin Fowler back into the game, but Fowler makes a rookie mistake right away, throws a bad ball. He's got a lot of arm power, does not have a lot of arm accuracy, and that's going to give Washington great field position. The first down play was 9 yards on that reception from Gardner. Ramsey throwing the second one away. I believe he was hit when he threw that time. We're trying to bring a little bit of pressure, and on the 3rd and 1, we luck out. Gardner absolutely drops that one, but it does lead to another John Hall field goal. So 2 field goals back-to-back bring us into halftime, and we are already down 27-0. We've pulled our starting quarterback. Joey Harrington is on the bench, and we're not going back to him. We're sick of the way that he's leading this team. We don't think that he has it. So we're hoping that we can stage some sort of a comeback here in the second half, but you can see that things are absolutely not going our way so far. We're really missing Deshaun Foster. 19 yards on the ground is absolutely abysmal, especially when we're giving up 111 yards already, and we're making Patrick Ramsey look like an absolute Pro Bowler right now. Speaking of Patrick Ramsey and the Washington football team, they will have the ball first in the second half. After the 6-yard run from Portis up the middle, Ramsey throws that one over the middle, incomplete, bringing up a 3rd down and 4. Ramsey going to find Gardner over on the right side, but Farmer's there quickly for the tackle. That's going to get a 3 and out for the Washington team, bringing Alvin Fowler and the Lions back out. Fowler immediately connects with Charles Rogers for a gain of 20. Fowler rolling slightly to his left has Rogers open again, who hauls that one in for a gain of 26 yards. Rogers would get injured on the play, but it wouldn't be that bad. He would return later on in the contest. Davenport gets a run over to the right side. I'm pretty sure he has more runs backwards than he does forwards this time. This one is a loss of 2. And right away, Fowler finds Azahir Hakeem over to the left side for 20 yards, but Azahir is hurt this time and would not return to the game later on with an arm injury. Once again, we will see what kind of injury befell him as well. Davenport getting up the middle for a no gain. I guess that's better than going backwards. And we did what we should have done the first time, is give Corey Schlesinger the ball, who powers his way into the end zone, giving the Lions a little bit of hope. That is a touchdown for Schlesinger and the Lions. If you remember, the worst game that we ever lost. We did not get any sort of a score on the Washington football team, so they are getting the 2-point conversion good on the run from Schlesinger. We are now down by a score of 8-24, and then Portis gets some really good blocking and gets a huge 31-yard run down the right side. So we immediately can't do anything on the defensive side of the ball, even though our offense has sparked a little bit more life into themselves. 1st and 10 now from Detroit territory up at the 39. Ramsey finds Jacobs for 3 yards. Hopkins makes the tackle, and he gets shaken up on the play. Once again, concerned and complaining about an arm injury, but again, luckily Hopkins would return later on in this game. 2nd and 7, Ramsey going to complete that one to Gardner on the right flat again for a 2-yard gain. Hamilton is there for the stop. 3rd and 5, Ramsey finds Lavernius Coles just burning Dre Bly up in this game and also celebrating breaking a career milestone. Congrats to Lavernius Coles for breaking 5,000 career yards. Portis is going to go up the middle for a loss. That's a beautiful thing of 2 yards. Navarro and Bailey making the combination for the stop. Portis only getting 1 yard up the middle that time. Ovan in there getting the stop, so the defensive line deciding to show up a little bit. And then Ramsey almost throws that one away, almost picked off by the Detroit defense. We will have to settle for the 4th down and the 36-yard field goal by John Hall. I believe that's his 3rd one of the contest so far is up, and it is good. So we get away with only a field goal, and the Lions take back over down 8-30. Fowler finds Rodgers, his favorite receiver so far today, for 22 yards, moving the chains immediately on 1st down. Another 1st down throw for 20-plus yards, this one deep over the middle to Derek Hamilton, the rookie. Not the rookie, he's in his 2nd year. Remember that, Steven. He's a 2nd-year guy now. Getting 24 yards. Fowler scrambling, using his feet to go 14 yards. And on the very next play, Fowler's going to find Roy Williams all alone in the secondary. Bowen can't make up the room. And that is another touchdown for the rookie Alvin Fowler and this Detroit Lions offense. So it seems that making this quarterback change was a good one, and we seem to have found our starting quarterback moving forward in Alvin Fowler. Unfortunately, the 2-point conversion lightning cannot strike twice, and LeVar Arrington and the Washington defense make sure that it will not be a 2-point conversion. So after all that, we even out at 14, and we are down 14-30. Portis gets up the middle for just 1 yard. Our defense is starting to wake up a little bit, getting some stops here. They go backwards 1 yard on the stop from Bailey and Norris. On the 3rd and 10, rolling out to his left. This time that pass is going to be intercepted by Fernando Bryant. Being relegated back to that nickel spot has not shaken him, and he steps up in a big moment to get that pass interception, earning some of that big paycheck that we are paying that dude. So you can see him stepping in front of that one on the hook route. That was definitely a planned play from Ramsey to Gardner, and we have wonderful field position on the Washington 22, and it just takes one pass from Fowler over to Rodgers, who bobbles the ball and makes an athletic grab. It is now 21-30. The Lions have officially worked their way back into this one. You can see here Fowler with the time to throw lobs a beautiful pass perfectly into the hands of Charles Rodgers, who almost drops that one, but he makes the play, and what really matters is that you make the play. So let's see if the Detroit defense can. They can't. They can't step up. It pains me every single time that I have to rewatch this. But Ramsey finds Lavernius Coles with a step on Dre Bly. It looks like there was a miscommunication or a miss in the coverage. Terrence Holt was supposed to be deep, but he gets caught cheating in here. You can see here the ball just zips by Terrence Holt, who's down to the right corner, and Sam Hamilton has no chance to catch him. That is a 63-yard touchdown run. And just like that, the bleed balloons back out to 16 points. But we have done some damage, and technically, we're winning the ball game if you counted it from the beginning of the first half. So the last play of the third quarter will be a completion from Fowler to Ben Watson for 17 yards, and the Lions will have the ball at their own 37 as we head into the fourth quarter. That pass over the top to Roy Williams is going to be counted as a drop, incomplete. And as you can see here, Fowler up to right now having a very, very good day. Has only missed 2 of his passes. Of course, one of them was that interception that he threw in his very first pass. So that incompletion was his first one since throwing that interception. Unfortunately, he's sacked there by Noble for a loss of 7, looking deep over the right side to Charles Rodgers. Charles not able to make that play over Sean Taylor and co. That's going to be an incomplete pass. The Lions would punt the ball back to Washington. Ramsey going to roll out to his left side. Another incomplete pass on that left side rollout. On top of that, a penalty against Washington. It's going to be an ineligible receiver downfield. We're going to repeat 1st down and 15 now, moving the ball back to their own 35. Portis going to have no gain on that one. Grant Norris doing a great job of filling in for that starting job as a rookie with Teddy Lehman on the injured reserve. Portis up the middle for 3 yards. Navarro was the start of that hit. Blythe finished it off. And on the 2nd and 15, he's going to find Lavernius Coles over the middle for 14 yards. Lavernius is having a heck of a game. 5 catches for 188 yards. He is absolutely burnt Dre Bly and the secondary today. You know who else is burnt us a few times today is Clinton Portis. This time he only gets 2 yards up the middle. Norris on the hit yet again. 2nd and 8, Portis getting another 2 yards up the middle. Hall and Thomas get the credit for the tackle. 3rd and 6. Ramsey's going to complete that one over to Portis, who has it over on the left side. Going to get very, very close to the 1st down line, but it's not going to matter because an offensive holding call gets called on the Washington football team, marching it back to a 3rd and 16. On the 3rd and 16, Ramsey's going to throw that one to the left of that. He finds Portis. Thomas makes short work of that one. It's only a gain of 2 yards, and Washington would punt it away to the Lions. Let's see if Fowler has any more magic left in him. Throwing that first one deep over the middle. Steven Alexander bobbles and this time drops it on the hit. Can't pull off the heroics that Charles Rogers did. Fowler throws it deep again on the desperation, and this one is intercepted by Matt Bowen, and that is going to pretty much do it for the hopes of the Lions in this first game. The Washington football team takes over at their own 48. Portis going up the middle just for 1 yard on the stop from Boss Bailey. 2nd and 9, and Portis gets loose on some good blocking, and he knows how to make people miss. He gets 11 yards, move the chains up to the Detroit 40. Portis getting up the middle again for 2 yards. Zach Thomas managing to stop him quickly. On the counter, he gets another few great blocks. Terrence Holt makes the tackle on Clinton, and that's a 9-yard gain and a 1st down. The Lions faithful here at home seem to not have any hope yet left that there's going to be any sort of a comeback, and the backups are officially in for Washington. Darrell Chambers gets the run on the right side for 3 yards. He gets a run up the middle for a loss of 1 yard, and then he's going to take another loss up the middle for 1 yard. There's one more timeout called there, and there's a field goal by Hall to make it 40-21. I guess we cut the field goal. You don't really need to see John Hall cut another field goal. Let's get out of this one. We'll check out the stats one more time. The only silver lining from this first game is that Alvin Fowler came in and he was an absolute capital B boss the whole time. He may have thrown a couple of interceptions, but he also made our passing yards look somewhat respectable. He got on the ground and he ran the ball a few times. We're not going to worry about those 172 yards that Clinton Portis had, but I'm just going to go. I think I have a good feeling about Fowler moving forward. And of course, Patrick Ramsey looks like an all-star today. 17 of 26 total passing, 277 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And Alvin Fowler came in and did his thing. 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, 171 yards. Not a bad time for the rookie. As you can see here, Fowler also had the most rushing yards for our team, so we can't get Deshaun Foster back soon enough. And Clinton Portis again, 172 yards and a touchdown for the elite running back of Washington. Now looking at the reception numbers, Lavernius Coles, as we stated earlier today, did have those 188 yards receiving, did get into the end zone once or twice, and twice specifically, as we would say. Clinton Portis also with that receiving touchdown to go with his running touchdown, and Charles Rogers was pretty much one of the only bright spots for us, although Roy Williams did have the other receiving touchdown. Zach Thomas leading the way in tackles for the whole game, so that's nice to see. He also had the most assisted tackles as well. It looks like Fernando Bryant had a great game on that nickel corner vibe. We had no sacks today. Really tough to get our defensive line to break through on the quarterback, especially when they're running in the opposite direction when they're about to get the sack, and we did have those 2 interceptions from Fernando Bryant and Sam Hamilton. So we are now 3-4. Washington moves up to 4-3, and we are going to move on to take on the Miami Dolphins. The big news for the Miami Dolphins is that they picked up one Brett Farve in the offseason. So as you can see here, our updated injury report, we've got 2 more weeks to, I think at this point it means 1 more game with Deshaun Foster on the bench. I do believe we get him back for the next episode. Of course, Teddy Lehman's still out. Azahir Hakeem is out for a few weeks, and we decided to not put Freeman on the injured reserve. I've seen fractures go from out to probable, but we did decide to move Alvin Fowler into the starting spot. We've run out of good graces for Joey Harrington as we look at the results from the previous week. Week 8, you can see Chicago taking care of business against Dallas. I'm looking for other NFC North games here. Our future opponent, Miami, did lose to Kansas City. Kansas City remaining 8-0, looking to defend their title run. They're doing a heck of a job of it so far. And you can see Minnesota taking their second loss to Buffalo there, one of our opponents in a future video. Brett Farve, the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. I guess at this point in time, maybe he went to the Vikings. I can't remember eventually or exactly when he went to the Vikings. But in this iteration of the universe, Brett Farve is a Miami Dolphins. Also a Miami Dolphins still is Ricky Williams, having a fantastic season so far. Only 7 games in, 612 yards on the ground, 7 touchdowns. Chris Chambers leads the way for another talented receiver core. David Boston is also on this team, but Chris Chambers is the most talented player on the receiving core. I believe all the videos moving forward will have every quarterback, every halfback, and anyone else who is above a 90. And the only other person who is above a 90 on this Dolphins team right now is Flozell Adams. You can see here Adwale Ogunleye is the only defensive end close to the 80s or close to the 90s. Also, Patrick Surtain is the only other one who is above in those mid-80s, and that's because Jared Taylor is out with a broken kneecap, so the Dolphins are without the services of Jason Taylor and one of their cornerbacks, Howard, and you can see here it has absolutely decimated their defensive rating. So we're going back to the Silver Surfer uniforms. We're hoping that's going to work some magic for us against the Miami Dolphins in Game 2. And I haven't asked yet so far, so if you've gotten this far in the episode, it would be an honor if you would subscribe to the channel. We're on the way to 250, eventually trying to get to 500 subscribers. That is the overall major goal that I have set for myself, and if you could contribute to that, I would be, well, not forever in your debt, but I think you get the gist that I'm going for. Also, liking or commenting on the video always helps with the algorithm gods. And as we thank the algorithm gods, we move on to our second game up to here against the Miami Dolphins. Welcome to Pro Player Stadium in beautiful, gorgeous Miami, Florida, where we are ready to wear some short sleeves and enjoy some football. The Detroit Lions are on a well-deserved road trip to the Sunshine State, where they're ready to take on Brett Farve and the Miami Dolphins. As we said before the video, the Dolphins are experiencing some injuries, specifically on defense, but we are going to start with the Dolphins on offense. That first pass from Brett Farve just kind of dribbles out of his hand, goes kind of nowhere. That one's falling incomplete, as well as his second pass. All of a sudden, 3rd and 10, dropping back for another pass, slinging it over to the right side. Beautiful defense from the defensive secondary, from the Detroit secondary. Specifically, Chris Cash making the deflection there. It's going to give the Lions the ball at their own 36. Davenport immediately runs almost more than he did the entire time against Washington, getting a 4-yard gain to the left side. Although Fowler throws his first ball incomplete, he is going to complete that one over on the right flat to Najee Davenport, who has enough room to get the first down and then some. A nifty little juke gets him about 11 yards, move the chains into Miami territory. Fowler's second pass over to the left side is incomplete. One of the Miami defenders gets a hand on it. 2nd and 10. Schlesinger is going to get the second run of the day, getting 2 yards up the middle of Ogunleye on the stop. Fowler rolling slightly to his left. He's going to get sacked by Chester, the defensive tackle, getting in there for a loss of 7, stopping the drive right before he can get any sort of momentum. The Detroit Lions would punt the ball away to the Miami Dolphins. Favre's first pass from the 25 falling incomplete. I'm not sure if Favre, he has it. No, he's 0 for 4 so far. He does complete that pass over on the right flat. It looks like it was a screenplay to Williams, getting 5 yards on the tackle from Norris. 3rd and 5, Brett Favre's pass to the right side goes directly to the hands of Kevin Smith. Our dime cornerback has the interception, but he fumbles the ball on the tackle, and it is fallen on by a Miami offensive lineman. So it's really just a loss of a couple yards. The interception by Kevin Smith The fumble by Kevin Smith. The recovery from Miami leads to the ball. It's actually a fresh set of downs, too, so they kind of got a first down out of it. Favre continues to throw incomplete passes. That one over to the left side, incomplete. That next one almost intercepted by Terrence Holt. Had that one really dead to rights in his hands. 3rd and 10, we were checking who we were covering on the big screen, and that was the person that we were covering. McMichael, the tight end, takes that reception and gets 38 yards. Boss Bailey managing to make the recovery and get the first down tackle. Ricky Williams gets up the middle for 4 yards. It's actually crazy that they're not running with him more. Hovan makes the stop. David Boston makes that reception over the middle, makes somebody miss with a stiff shoulder. That's a gain of 23 yards and a first down. As you can see, David Boston's production so far this year. Ricky Williams getting up the middle again, his counter. So that was actually like a double counter. He countered to the left, he split back to the right, and then he was like, nope, I don't like the right, so I'm going to go back left. That's a 6-yard gain. 2nd and 4, Williams only gets 1 yard up the middle. Norris making another good tackle, and Conrad making that catch over on the left flat. Dre Bly makes a fantastic tackle, and it was so fantastic that it injures the starting fullback Rob Conrad, so it's going to be a 4th down, and Miami loses the services of their starting fullback to go with their injury report. The 21-yard field goal by Orlando Mare is good, and the Lions get another chance at things, and another chance indeed. Fowler floating that one up to Roy Williams. That's a 28-yard gain. Move the chains up to their own 48. Schlesinger getting no gain up the middle. Chester really doing some things in that defensive tackle spot so far today. Fowler throws that one over to the right side, in and out of Charles Rogers' hands. He's not able to hold on to the bobble, and Fowler throwing a bullet over to that left side. Didn't like the throw. I didn't like it at the time. Derek Hamilton didn't like the throw either. That is it's not really, it's like a gentleman's sweep. It's a gentleman's 3 and out for the Detroit Lions. Taking over at their own 29, Williams is going to get just 1 yard off of that toss. It was almost lost, but he was able to work his way out of one tackle. Favre pass incomplete over to the left side. 3rd and 9, just like that for the Miami Dolphins. Favre looking to pass again, throwing it over to the right side. This time, we were ready. We were ready for that out route to one McMichael. We were in there on, really Sam Hamilton was saving our booty like he always does, but regardless, it's a 3 and out for the Dolphins. I keep wanting to call them the Packers. It's just so weird to not see Brett Farve on the Packers. Anyway, Fowler scrambling away, only getting 2 yards on the tackle for more, and that's going to bring us on to the second quarter. It's sort of a rock fight so far. Only 3-0. Miami is up. Not much offensive production from either side so far, and the lack of production continues. Tim Bowens gets through for the big sack and the loss of 7. On the 3rd and 15, Fowler getting that one out before he gets sacked. He maybe could have put a little bit more float on that one to Steven Alexander. Regardless, he actually gets credited with a drop for that one, and the offensive struggles continue for Detroit. Miami taking over from their own 27. Favre misses Ricky Williams on the screenplay that time. 2nd down, rolling out to his left side, looking back over the middle. This time we play good defense on it. Zach Thomas, user control. Thank you very much. Brett Farve, after throwing his 4th incomplete pass in a row, steps up for a 3rd and 10 and winds up throwing his 5th incomplete pass in a row. Another 3rd and out, 3 and out for the Miami Dolphins, and the Lions take back over, hoping to get something going here in this first half of play. Davenport just getting 3 yards up the middle on the tackle from Higgins. Fowler throwing another incomplete pass behind the back of his receiver. I believe that was a pass over to Davenport. 3rd and 7. Fowler's going to finally find Roy Williams over the middle, who gives one of the cornerbacks a taste of his shoulder pad and gets up to the Miami 41 for the first down, and he's immediately sacked by Bowen for another loss of 8. A little step forward, 2 steps backwards for this Detroit offense. Fowler's pass dropping off of the hands of his receiver there, falling incomplete. 3rd and 18, Fowler dropping back, not liking what he's seeing downfield, decides to bail out as he starts to feel the pressure, running as best as he can over to that left side, takes a hit, fumbles the ball. It goes out of bounds with just 1 yard to go before the first down. So after the miraculous 17-yard scramble, that's the high run of the game, by the way. I think that's the high run of the video. Fowler is able to get John Hanson into his field goal range, and the 49-yarder just barely squeaks by and ties this one up by a score of 3-3. Brett Farve throws his 7th incompletion in a row here after those first two are incomplete, leading to another 3rd and 10. But instead of staying with the streak, he is able to find Chris Chambers on the completion for a gain of 24 yards. Move the chains for Miami, not something that we've said in a long time. Brett Farve gets back to his incompletionist ways, throwing that one incomplete over on the left side, 2nd and 10. Favre finding Boston on the hook route this time, getting a 7-yard gain on the tackle from Dre Bly. And you can see here the struggles of one Brett Favre. Only 29% completion percentage so far, 97 yards, 1 interception. I don't think that is good. You can do the math. This one, however, is going to be complete to David Boston. That's a 21-yard gain, a good pass, move the chains. Ricky Williams getting 4 yards on the 1st and 10 run, moving up from the Detroit 27. Williams is going to get loose this time. He's over on the right side, sheds a tackle off, continues to move to that right side, gets shoved down by by Farmer. That's going to be a big 17 run, putting the Miami Dolphins into a 1st and goal situation. You can see here the monster season that Ricky Williams is having so far. He is most likely going to be a 1,000-yard halfback sooner rather than later. Favre's first pass from 1st and goal at the 6 is incomplete. He gives it back to Ricky Williams, which he probably should have done on the first play. Makes a man punish with that miss with a powerful shoulder. But the rookie linebacker, Grant Norris, continues his strong play on the 3rd and goal and manages to get the sack untouched coming through. You can see the linebacker making the sack on Brett Farve. That's a few-yard loss and saves a 24-yard field goal. So the Dolphins were knocking at the door for a touchdown, but the defense of the Detroit Lions manages to stand tall, and we hold them to the 24-yard field goal, now a score of 3-6. Fowler's first pass is incomplete, but we get a little bit of a bailout. We get the defensive pass interference call that's going to move the chains up to Detroit's 31. Fowler's going to complete that one over to Najee Davenport. Not a great turn on the reception, only a 2-yard gain. Patrick Surtain makes the tackle. 2nd and 8, Fowler throwing over to the left side, finding Roy Williams, only a 1-yard gain on the cross route. Fowler from shotgun, heaving that one over the middle. Steven Alexander all alone that time. No bobble of the ball. That's going to be a 34-yard gain, and Detroit takes a timeout, thinking that they want to try and score before we head into halftime here. The next pass is complete to Charles Rogers, not able to get himself out of bounds on the tackle from Kraft. That is a 2nd timeout from the Lions. Fowler dropping back, looking to pass, looking some more, feeling the pressure, rolling out to his right side, manages to avoid the rush, and finally uses the waiting hands of Schlesinger over on that right side because he knew he wasn't going to start blocking for him, but he does manage to get himself a little pick set on that right side. We're going to take a look at this one more time. Fowler scrambling out to the right side. I truly believe that if we did not use, that was Davenport actually, if we didn't use the body of Najee Davenport to just block, to shave around for the little screen, we get the 10-yard first down. The very next play, a dangerous pass threads 3 Dolphins of a window, is complete to our rookie Brett Richards. His first catch of the video, that's a 13-yard gain, a first down, 1st and goal from the 3. After our 3rd timeout, Fowler misses that pass to Schlesinger on the flat, but this time Fowler does not miss. Finds Roy Williams over the middle for the 3-yard gain and the touchdown. And before we head into halftime, the Lions have finally struck with a touchdown here in Miami, and they go into the locker rooms not only with the lead 10-6, but with possession of the ball. So the Lions will get the ball back headed into the second half as we head into halftime with the Lions up by a score of 10-6. Taking a look at the tail of the halftime stats, we're not necessarily running the ball any better, but the point is that the Dolphins are not running the ball significantly better than we are, and they're not even passing the ball significantly better than we are. It's actually kind of surprising to see that they're passing as well as they are. We have given up a couple of big plays, but we are holding our own here in game number 2, and the Lions take back over with the ball here in the 3rd quarter. Schlesinger managing 2 yards up the middle, Freeman there on the tackle, and then Fowler continues his strong play, finding Roy Williams over the middle on the deep post route. You can see here Fowler having a pretty good game here so far. He's got 125 yards through the air and a touchdown to boot. He is doing a pretty decent job in his first official, you're actually the starter kind of a start here in this Lions rebuild. After the first run from Davenport, Fowler finds Steven Alexander over the middle for a 12-yard gain and a first down. We're now in Miami territory from the 47. Fowler's going to find Rogers over on that hook route. That's a 9-yard gain, almost moving the chains. Davenport's going to get up the middle for a loss of 1 yard, and we are not able to find Fowler over the middle. I believe that was a pass to Roy Williams, who takes a hard hit, drops the ball, and that is going to give the ball back to the Miami Dolphins. Ricky Williams takes the ball over the middle for 2 yards. 2nd and 8. Farve going to find McMichael, one of his favorite targets so far, catches the ball on the miss from the secondary. That's a big 22-yard gain for the tight end, and we move the chains up to the Miami 44. Favre's next pass falls incomplete off of the hands of his receiver and the hands of some Detroit Lions. That second pass falls incomplete, I believe, off of the backside of Terrence Holt, who celebrates, and that third pass would be incomplete, bringing up another 3rd down and out from the Miami Dolphins. A lot of 3-pass incompletions for Brett Farve today. I'm not sure if it's our secondary doing that thing, but we will not question our good fortunes regardless. Unfortunately, the Lions go 3 and out here just as quickly as the Dolphins go 3 and out, so the Dolphins will get the ball back at their own 46. Favre continues his incompletionist ways, throwing that one out of bounds to the left flat, bringing up a 2nd and 10. Favre stepping up, throwing left again. This one's going to be deflected away by a Lions defender. Favre having a 3rd and 10 yet again. It's almost guaranteed at this point, but this time he throws the ball to Sam Hamilton, who not only has the interception, but he gets a good block of his own, and there is nobody to stop him from getting into the end zone. That is a defensive touchdown for our rookie Sam Hamilton, doing his Stanford thing. The Stanford man takes the interception all the way to the house. We'll see this one more time. Sam back in zone coverage, steps in front of that pass. Well, if Brett Favre's going to throw a completion, he might as well throw it to one of the Lions. So Sam Hamilton, the rookie, gets another interception in this video, and his first one for a touchdown, I believe, in his young Detroit Lions career, and the Miami Dolphins take over again from their own 34 to try again. Favre finds Webb over the middle for 14 yards, finally a completion, then gets right back to throwing the ball off of the stone hands of his receivers. The Dolphins try another run, not sure why they haven't been trying a lot more running in this game, but Williams only gets 3 yards over to the right side, and then another throw over to the right, another interception from Sam Hamilton. He has been an absolute ball hawk in that strong safety position. His 2nd interception of the game, his 2nd interception in like a minute of gameplay, and his 3rd interception of the video. Sam Hamilton is putting up Pro Bowl numbers, and Alvin Fowler is looking like a professional quarterback. A dime of a pass to Steven Alexander, who had the height advantage over his defenders. Not sure why the screen was talking about the amount of turnovers that we're committing in the game, but Schlesinger gets up the middle for 5 yards, and then he makes a man miss with his shoulder, and Corey Schlesinger is in the end zone for his 2nd touchdown in as many games, and the Lions have extended this lead all the way to 24-6. Brett Favre is, well, he should be disappointed in this performance for his Miami Dolphins and the home team. And as we head into the final quarter of play, the Lions are in fierce command of this game, up 24-6. The Dolphins take back over with really just one more chance to get into this thing. Ricky Williams trying to fight for it, getting 7 yards up the middle. Dre Bly is the one who finally takes him down. Ricky Williams getting another run over to the right side, making someone miss with a nasty stiff arm, and the tackle for another 7 yards up to the Miami 42. Brett Farve really he needs to stop throwing the ball. He does not make that pass. Ricky Williams seems to be the only one who's doing anything for this offense, with a gain of 4 yards up the middle on the tackle from Zach Thomas. 3rd down and 6, honestly would have run it. Don't know why they keep throwing it. That one falls incomplete, and Dre Bly and the Detroit defense continues to step up and do good stuff against this Miami's team. 1st and 10 from the Detroit 20. Fowler is looking deep again. This time completes a huge completion to Steven Alexander for a 32-yard gain over 3 Miami Dolphins. That's a great game for Steven Alexander so far, the leading receiver, I believe, for anyone in this game. Davenport gets over to the right yard. That was very dangerous. for being a big gain, but then immediately gets smacked for a big loss of 4 yards. So that's basically going 3 steps forward and 4 steps back, but it doesn't matter when you got Fowler throwing to Roy Williams like that. That's a 20-yard gain. Move the chains, and then that pass over to the flat is complete to Charles Rogers for 6 yards. Not entirely sure why we were still passing at this point. Najee Davenport getting his best run of the video so far. That's an 8-yard gain up the middle, bringing it up to 1st and 10 from the Miami 15. Fowler's going to find Davenport over the right side for 2 yards. Knight in there on the stop. Davenport getting another run up the middle for just 1 yard on the stop from Moore. 3rd and 7, going play action. Fowler rolling out to his right side, firing to Ben Watson in the end zone, who cannot make the grab. But we've done our job. We've wasted the time. We're now inside of the 2-minute warning. We'll go ahead and take that 24-yard field goal just to put a little bit of the icing on the proverbial cake. Brett Farve, you guessed it, threw like 4 more incompletions in a row, and we would be able to nail the ball out. Alvin Fowler, in his first official start as the de facto starter of the Detroit Lions, gets his first victory, and the Lions take home the victory on the road, getting a definitive win 27-6 over Brett Farve and the Packers. So we will walk away from this video 1-1 overall, 4-4 in the record books halfway through the season, and we just need 4 more wins to get to our goal of 8 on the season, and we're going to be trying to do it on the back of our rookie, Alvin Fowler, who did do a good job of throwing in this game. 244 yards overall, 73 yards on the ground. You can see Fowler had a great day, while Brett Favre did not. This is not golf, or else Brett Favre would have definitely been winning in the sense of his quarterback rating. But Fowler, man, 244 yards, only 1 touchdown, but there's the important thing. No interceptions to Brett Favre's 3. We move on to the running game, which was not necessarily strong, but again, holding Ricky Williams to just 63 yards on 13 carries. He was actually running really, really well on us. It's a shame that he was not running more. That was not what the offensive coordinator was drawing up today. You can see there Corey Schlesinger did get another touchdown, 1 touchdown, 2 in as many games. So we will take that production. We guessed right. Steven Alexander, 4 receptions for 109 yards. The tight end having the high for the day. Roy Williams not far behind him, 7 receptions for about 89 yards, and the touchdown reception for the day. So our offense did just enough, and our defense was really the star of the show today. Our leading tacklers, Terrence Holt, Lewis getting in there, I believe that's special teams tackles, and Grant Norris with his 4 tackles and the sack. If we're looking at the assists, Dre Bly, Fernando Bryant getting in there as well. Dre Bly looking like he had 5 overall tackles if you're counting those assists. And of course, Grant Norris with that huge sack in the red zone to hold Miami to just a field goal, a real momentum shifter for the Detroit Lions. And then Dre Bly and Sam Hamilton and Terrence Holt and Boss Bailey and Sam Farmer really doing work with their pass deflection, and of course Kevin Smith and Sam Hamilton taking those 2 balls away and the 1 interception. Sam taking that one home for a touchdown. So we will take that. We're 3-1 in our last 4 games, 4-4 overall. So we have successfully turned the season around, but we have 2 tough opponents coming up in the 6-2 Miami Vikings and the 5-3 Buffalo Bills. I do believe we will have Deshaun Foster back next week, so we are looking forward to that. Otherwise, no change to our injury report. The guys who were hurt before are still the guys who are hurt now. So that is going to do it for this episode of the Detroit Lions Rebuild. Thank you so much for hanging out. We will be back next time with those 2 games. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Be a part of that road to 250 and then help get us to that road to 500. So thank you so much for coming out. This is Peanuts 24/7. We'll see you on the next one.